By the time we reach our mid-70s and beyond, it's easy to believe that many health issues are just part of getting old. But the truth is, most deaths after age 75 can be traced back to a small group of specific causes, many of which are preventable. Understanding these risks is not about fear, it's about awareness, and using that awareness to stay independent, healthy, and strong for as long as possible. This article explores the 7 most common causes of death in older adults, not just to inform you, but to empower you with practical steps that can help you protect your well-being and quality of life. We'll begin with heart disease, the top cause of death after 75. You'll learn how things like diet, exercise, and blood pressure management can make a real difference. Next, we'll look at falls and injuries, which often lead to broken bones, hospital stays, and a loss of independence. But with the right precautions and strength training, many falls can be prevented. Respiratory diseases, including COPD and pneumonia, are also major concerns. You'll find tips on improving air quality, staying active, and getting the right vaccines to protect your lungs. Then we'll explore stroke, which often strikes without warning, but is largely preventable with regular checkups and lifestyle changes. Cognitive decline, such as dementia and memory loss, doesn't happen overnight. We'll share how mental activity, social connection, and nutrition can help keep your mind sharp. In the 6th section, you'll learn about malnutrition and unintentional weight loss, a hidden danger that weakens muscles, immunity, and recovery, but one that can be managed through better eating habits. Finally, we'll discuss social isolation and loneliness, which can quietly affect your heart, brain, and emotional health. Staying socially connected is one of the most powerful tools for aging well. Each of these 7 areas can be addressed with small, meaningful changes. You don't need to overhaul your life, but you do need to stay informed and proactive. The choices you make today can help you live not just longer, but better. Let's take a closer look at each one. Heart disease is the leading cause of death for Americans over age 75, but what many people don't realize is how much power they have to reduce their risk. Your heart is a muscle, and like any muscle, it can stay strong with the right care or weaken from years of neglect. The problem is that heart issues often develop quietly. Fatigue, shortness of breath, or general slowing down are frequently mistaken for just aging, when in reality, they may be early signs of a struggling heart. High blood pressure is one of the most common culprits. It forces your heart to work harder than it should, placing strain on your arteries. And since high blood pressure often has no obvious symptoms, it can go unnoticed until a heart attack or stroke occurs. Diet plays a major role too. A lifetime of processed foods, high salt intake, and unhealthy fats can clog arteries and block blood flow. But it's not just about cutting out harmful foods, it's also about adding in heart-healthy options. Think leafy greens, berries, salmon, beans, and nuts. Regular physical activity is also key. You don't need to run marathons. Even 20-30 minutes of walking, stretching, or chair exercises daily can help improve circulation, lower blood pressure, and keep your heart resilient. Take Nancy, 79, for example. She was shocked when a routine checkup showed high blood pressure and elevated cholesterol. She didn't feel sick, but she decided to make changes. She swapped out processed snacks for fresh fruit, started walking with her neighbor every morning, and added yoga twice a week. Within 6 months, her doctor was impressed by her progress, and she felt more energetic and confident, too. The belief that heart disease is just inevitable after 75 is outdated and harmful. Yes, your risk increases with age, but your everyday choices, how you eat, move, and manage stress make a huge difference. Regular checkups, smart food choices, staying active, and limiting salt and alcohol can all protect your heart well into your later years. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you're more tired than usual, out of breath after simple tasks, or experiencing chest discomfort, don't write it off. Get checked. Your heart is still listening to how you treat it, and the steps you take today can determine how strong it stays in the years ahead. Falls are one of the most common and dangerous causes of death and disability for people over 75, but they're also one of the most preventable. A fall may seem minor, but for older adults, it can lead to broken bones, head trauma, or a rapid decline in independence. One slip can be life-changing. What's even more alarming is how few people see it coming. You may feel steady now, but balance, muscle strength, and reaction time all decline gradually with age. That decline can go unnoticed until something suddenly goes wrong. It might be a slippery bathroom floor, poor lighting, loose rugs, or even a medication that causes dizziness. And once someone experiences a fall, fear often sets in. That fear leads to less movement, avoiding stairs, skipping walks, or sitting more. And that lack of movement makes the body even weaker. It becomes a cycle. The less you move, the more likely you are to fall. But falls aren't inevitable. In fact, many can be prevented with a few simple steps. Focus on improving leg and core strength with exercises like standing leg lifts, gentle squats, or balance practice by holding onto a sturdy chair. Talk to your doctor about your medications. Some prescriptions can cause drowsiness or affect your balance. And make smart adjustments at home. Install grab bars in the bathroom, remove trip hazards like throw rugs, add nightlights in the hallway, and wear non-slip footwear. Consider Jim, 82, who tripped over a rug in his hallway and fractured his hip. After surgery and a long recovery, he was determined to avoid another fall. He started physical therapy, removed clutter from his home, and now does balance training 3 times a week. He's regained confidence and movement. Don't wait for a fall to take action. Whether you're steady on your feet now or not, investing in strength, safety, and awareness today could save you months of recovery, or even save your life. Staying upright means staying independent, and that's worth every effort. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Breathing is something we often take for granted until it becomes difficult. After age 75, respiratory diseases like chronic bronchitis, emphysema, both part of COPD, and pneumonia become major threats to health and longevity. These conditions quietly damage lung function over time, and by the time symptoms are noticeable, the lungs may already be struggling. Many seniors chalk up a chronic cough or shortness of breath to just getting older, but these are often early warning signs of something more serious. COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, is especially common among older adults, particularly those with a history of smoking or long-term exposure to air pollutants. It narrows the airways and makes it harder to get oxygen into the lungs and harder to get carbon dioxide out. Simple tasks like walking to the mailbox or getting dressed can leave someone breathless. Meanwhile, pneumonia, a lung infection that might seem manageable in youth, can be life-threatening for seniors, especially if it goes untreated. But there are practical steps you can take to protect your lungs. Staying physically active, even through gentle movement like walking or stretching, keeps your lungs strong and helps clear out mucus. Avoiding secondhand smoke, using air purifiers, and ventilating your home properly also reduce your risk. And don't forget the power of vaccines. Annual flu shots and pneumonia vaccines are essential for protecting yourself against respiratory infections that could lead to hospitalization or worse. Consider Harold, 77, who started having breathing trouble during cold weather. He assumed it was just the chill, but after a persistent cough and some chest discomfort, he saw his doctor and was diagnosed with mild COPD. With medication, breathing exercises, and an indoor air filter, Harold now feels better and is preventing his condition from getting worse. If you're finding it harder to breathe than you used to, don't ignore it. Get it checked. Lung health may decline gradually, but with the right support and awareness, you can breathe easier and live longer. A stroke can change your life in an instant. It often arrives without warning, and its effects can be devastating. Paralysis, memory loss, speech difficulty, or worse. For adults over 75, stroke is one of the top causes of death and long-term disability. What makes it especially dangerous is that many of its causes are silent, and many of its warning signs are ignored. A stroke happens when blood flow to part of the brain is blocked or when a blood vessel in the brain bursts. Without oxygen, brain cells begin to die within minutes. One of the leading causes is high blood pressure, which damages blood vessels over time. Another major factor is atrial fibrillation, AFib, an irregular heartbeat that can cause clots to form and travel to the brain. Both of these conditions can go unnoticed without regular medical checkups. The encouraging news is that up to 80% of strokes are preventable. Managing your blood pressure, eating a heart-healthy diet, staying active, and limiting alcohol and tobacco use are powerful protective steps. It's also crucial to know the warning signs. Sudden confusion, trouble speaking, vision loss, or numbness on one side of the body. Even if these symptoms go away quickly, a mini stroke or TIA, they should be taken seriously and treated as medical emergencies. Take Elaine, 81, who experienced brief dizziness and slurred speech. She waited a day before telling her daughter. Thankfully, her doctor recognized the signs of a TIA and got her on medication and lifestyle changes that likely prevented a major stroke. Regular screenings, medication if needed, and simple lifestyle changes can dramatically lower your risk. Don't let a stroke steal your independence. Take action today and protect your brain, your mobility, and your future. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Memory loss isn't just about forgetting where you put your keys. For many older adults, it's the beginning of something much more serious: cognitive decline. Conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia slowly chip away at memory, decision-making, and independence. What starts as small lapses, forgetting names, repeating stories, losing track of time, can grow into the inability to manage money, take medications properly, or even recognize loved ones. After age 75, cognitive decline becomes one of the leading causes of disability and death. Not because it strikes suddenly, but because it quietly takes over when left unaddressed. What's important to know is that mental decline is not a guaranteed part of aging. Your brain can stay sharp well into your 80s and beyond, with the right care. Just like your muscles, your brain needs exercise. Reading, learning new skills, playing games, and staying socially active are all ways to strengthen cognitive function. Physical activity is equally important. It boosts blood flow to the brain and supports mental clarity. A healthy diet rich in leafy greens, berries, fish, and nuts also supports brain health. Let's take Sam, 79, who began struggling to recall recent events and felt increasingly confused. His doctor recommended cognitive screening, which revealed early signs of memory impairment. Sam began a program of daily puzzles, 30-minute walks, and weekly social outings. His condition stabilized and he felt more confident and engaged. Social isolation, depression, poor diet, and lack of mental stimulation can all accelerate decline. But with early detection and small lifestyle changes, you can slow or even prevent worsening symptoms. Don't wait for memory problems to grow. Start brain-healthy habits now. Staying mentally sharp is not just about memory, it's about preserving your independence, your relationships, and your quality of life. As we age, our bodies change in subtle ways, including how we eat, digest, and absorb nutrients. Unfortunately, malnutrition is a quiet but serious health risk for people over 75. You may think you're eating enough, or that weight loss is just a normal part of getting older, but unintentional weight loss and undernourishment can lead to major health problems. Muscle loss, weakness, lowered immunity, fatigue, and slower recovery from illness or surgery are all linked to poor nutrition. In fact, many hospital admissions among seniors stem from the complications of undiagnosed malnutrition. The causes aren't always obvious. Taste changes, dental issues, difficulty swallowing, medication side effects, limited mobility, or even grief can all lead to eating less. If you live alone, mealtimes may no longer feel enjoyable. You might skip meals without realizing it or rely on snacks that don't provide enough protein, vitamins, or calories to keep your body strong. And when your body isn't properly nourished, everything else becomes harder. Walking, thinking clearly, staying independent. Let's consider Irene, age 81, who began losing weight without trying. Her clothes became looser, she felt more tired, and climbing stairs left her winded. It wasn't until her doctor noticed her weight drop and ran some tests that they realized she was malnourished. Irene began working with a dietitian who recommended small but impactful changes, adding protein smoothies, switching to softer foods that were easier to chew, and eating 5 smaller meals a day instead of 3 large ones. Within weeks, she began gaining strength and feeling more like herself again. The good news is that malnutrition is preventable and reversible. Start by keeping an eye on your weight. If you've lost more than 5% of your body weight in the last 6 months without trying, that's a red flag worth discussing with your doctor. Eat a variety of foods, especially those rich in protein like eggs, fish, beans, and dairy. Stay hydrated. Many older adults don't drink enough water, And consider adding a multivitamin if your diet is limited. But always talk with your doctor first. Most importantly, don't ignore your appetite. If food no longer appeals to you, or if eating feels like a chore, that's your body asking for help. Getting proper nutrition is not just about staying full, it's about staying strong. Small changes to how and what you eat can protect your health, keep your energy up, and support your independence well into the years ahead. When we talk about health risks after age 75, most people think of things like heart disease or memory loss. But one of the most dangerous and often overlooked threats is loneliness. Social isolation doesn't just feel bad, it can take a serious toll on your physical and mental well-being. In fact, studies show that chronic loneliness can be as harmful to your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. That's because humans are wired for connection. When that connection is missing, everything suffers, from your immune system to your emotional balance. Older adults often face more barriers to staying socially engaged. Friends may have moved away or passed on. Family may live far. Health issues can make it harder to get out and about. And sometimes people simply stop reaching out, not out of malice, but because they assume you're doing fine. The result is a creeping sense of disconnection. You may still be physically healthy, but emotionally, the lack of companionship can lead to depression, anxiety, poor sleep, and even cognitive decline. Consider Thomas, 78, who had been feeling off for months, tired, forgetful, and low in spirit. He lived alone and only saw his daughter every few weeks. His doctor suggested that some of his symptoms might be tied to social withdrawal. Thomas took a small but meaningful step. He joined a community gardening group. There, he met others his age, started having regular conversations, and found himself laughing again. Within weeks, his energy returned, his memory improved, and he felt like he had purpose again. The good news is that combating loneliness doesn't require a complete lifestyle overhaul. It starts with one phone call, one coffee meetup, one friendly chat with a neighbor, join a book club, a senior center, or a hobby group. Use video calls to reconnect with distant family. If getting out is hard, ask for help. Many communities offer transportation for seniors or programs that bring social activities to your door. Connection is a powerful medicine. It sharpens the mind, lifts the spirit, and even strengthens the body. You deserve meaningful relationships at every age. Don't wait until the silence gets too loud. Reach out, even in small ways, because a connected life is a healthier, happier, and more resilient one. And it's never too late to build it. By the time we reach our late 70s, it's easy to believe that declining health is simply part of aging. But the truth is, many of the most common causes of death after age 75, like heart disease, stroke, falls, respiratory illness, cognitive decline, malnutrition, and loneliness, aren't inevitable. They're signals, often quiet ones, that our bodies and minds are asking for attention. The most powerful lesson is this: we still have influence over how we age. Small daily choices, like moving more, eating well, staying socially connected, and listening to early signs, can make the difference between years of struggle and years of strength. It's not about avoiding every risk, but about acting with awareness, not fear. A fall, a forgotten name, or a skipped meal might seem minor at first, but each one is an invitation to care for ourselves more deeply. Aging doesn't mean giving up control. It means making the most of the life we've worked hard to build. With knowledge, courage, and a few good habits, we can live not just longer, but better, with dignity, purpose, and peace. Every small step we take toward health today gives us more freedom to enjoy tomorrow. Thank you for joining us today. We would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today, how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue to create great content to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.